Africa in general and in Benin. In particular, access to warehouses for storing grains, in particular maize grain, is one of the problems often faced by farmers. But increasingly, community warehouses are built in villages to help farmers. However, to store bags of maize in community warehouses, we need to follow certain principles that you should be aware of. We need to follow good stock management principles if we want to maintain the good quality of our maize and make a good price when we sell. In this video, we will learn how to store and manage maize in the warehouse. Storing and managing stock in a warehouse involves 3 important steps. We should first prepare the warehouse. Second, store your products on pallets. And third, follow and manage the stock in the warehouse. Let's start with the first step, which is preparing the warehouse. The warehouse should be prepared before receiving the stock. Therefore, we should first make sure the warehouse is in good condition by checking the walls are not cracked, the cemented floor is not broken, and does not have any holes, and that the roof is not broken. If there are cracks or holes, mend them immediately, as they can become pathways for pests and insects. Cracks and holes can also host pests and insects. If the holes in the roof are not repaired, water can get into the warehouse and affect the quality of your maize. Then we should clean the warehouse and its surroundings. Install traps, if possible, to catch pests that may attack the stock as they search for food. We should also prepare and clean wooden pallets on which the maize bags will be placed, as they can host termites or other insect pests. When positioning the pallets, we should respect the distance between the pallets and the walls, and between the pallets and the main hallway for easy storing, inspection, and destocking. In addition, the warehouse should have overhead air vents facing the direction the wind to ensure proper ventilation. Second step, store the product on pallets. Once the warehouse manager receives the maize bags, he should inspect them before storing. To inspect the bags, the warehouse manager verifies the quality of the grain in each individual bag by using a probe to collect sample grains to see whether they contain pests or disease. He should also verify that the grain in each bag is well dried. If the grain is not sufficiently dry or contain pests, the manager will reject the bag and ask the owner to dry and sort the grain again. The warehouse manager should record all information on maize bags delivered to the warehouse, namely the number of bags, the weight, the variety, the date of the receipt, the name of the owner of each bag, before putting the bags on the pallets. In the warehouse, the maize bags should not be stored randomly on the pallets. For the first layer, the warehouse manager should make sure 2 or 3 bags are stored vertically and 1 or 2 bags horizontally. As for the second pile, the bags should be stored the opposite way. That is, 2 or 3 bags horizontally and 1 to 2 bags vertically, and so on. To ensure better stock management, it is recommended to store in the same pile maize bags of the same variety harvested at the same time. The bags should not touch the roof, the warehouse structures, or the walls. Leave some space about 50 centimeters between the pallet stacks and the wall and between two stacks. Why this precaution? Raul Yatika, manager of the community warehouse of the Farmers Association of Kongoko in northern Benin, explains.
We leave spaces between the bags and the wall to prevent moisture accumulating, to ensure proper ventilation of the warehouse, and to enable the manager to move freely to inspect the bags.
While storing the bags, some maize grain may fall on the ground of the warehouse. We must clear the ground of any fallen grain. If the grains are not collected or if they are thrown away close to the warehouse, they can easily attract insects and rodents that will attack and spoil the maize. Once the bags are stored on the pallets, we can move to the third step. The third step involves tracking and managing the stock in the warehouse. As Raul does, we should visit the warehouse every 2 weeks to check the condition of the stock. To spot possible signs of attack, Raul lifts some bags to see if rodents have made any holes. He puts his ear against the bags to check for any noise of insects eating the grain, which is an indication that the bag has been attacked. He checks the top of the bags, especially those stored on top, to see whether there are any spots caused by the rain. He also checks the ground to detect any flour coming from the bags, which indicates that an attack is very advanced, or wood from the pallets, a sign that the pallet is degrading and needs to be replaced. As soon as Raul detects any signs showing that the quality of the grain is degrading, he immediately takes precaution to correct the situation. But what precautions? He explains.
After checking, when we see that the bag is not in good condition, we call the owner. He will rewinnow, dry and sort out maize before bringing it back to the warehouse.
The longer your maize remains in the warehouse, the more it is exposed to attacks and infestations if not carefully maintained. Destocking is carried out once the price gets higher on the market, when there is a buyer or when farmers need the grain for food. To destock the warehouse, that is, to take out maize bags for sale or for other purposes, it is important to follow the rule of first bag in, first bag out.
We take out the bags stored first because they are more vulnerable than those stored later.
When a bag is taken out of the warehouse, the manager should record it in the register book. He records the date, the amount, the name of the owner, and any other useful information. In Kongoko, farmers store the maize bags in the community warehouse because the storage conditions are good. They also do it in order to benefit from the advantages offered by the warrantage system. Let's listen to Jermaine Ainan, a facilitator in charge of post-harvest management in northern Benin, who explains this practice.
Warrantage
is an operation which consists of warranting the stock to get a loan that enables a farmer to carry out revenue-generating activities. Why do it? because at harvest, the product is cheaper. So farmers usually sell it cheaply. So when you store your product in the warehouse and if the price gets higher, you sell it and the microfinance institution takes back its money, puts the interest, and the benefit goes to the farmer.
Les bénéfices reviennent aux producteurs.
Let's summarize what we have learned from this video. Maize bags should not be stored randomly in the warehouse. There are some principles that we need to follow. Before receiving the bags to be stored, we need to clean the warehouse and its surroundings. Inspect the roof, the walls, and the cemented ground to make sure there are no holes or cracks, and repair the holes and the cracks if there are any. Store maize bags on wooden pallets, leaving some space for easy movement before the wall and the pallets and between the pallets to prevent moisture accumulation and for easy inspection. Inspect the stored maize regularly and take out all bags that have been attacked or infected. Ask the owner to winnow, sort, and dry his maize again. Follow the rule of first bag in, first bag out when taking out the bags. Keep a register book to systematically record detailed information about storing and destocking operations. If we follow these principles, we will be successful in preventing losses due to attacks and infestation during the storage time. You will then sell your maize at the best price at the best time.